Okay, today we're going to talk about cold immersion therapy or cold plunge. It's everywhere. You see it on Instagram, on YouTube, everywhere I look, people are doing cold therapy. I've actually been doing it for quite a few years, but I'm doing it in the old school way where I bought ice and put it into my bathtub. I also bought a Japanese soaking tub online, a very inexpensive one, and would put ice, 20-pound ice bags in there. And I got tired of doing that run to the grocery, and also those tubs kept breaking down on me. It's kind of a cheap plastic. So we took the plunge. We wanted to find the best one in the market, and we found this one, which is from TheraFrost, and it's called the TheraFrost. And I'm going to tell you why we like this one so much better than the other ones on the market, and also explain to you why you might benefit from doing cold therapy a couple times a week, maybe a couple times a day, depending on what your goals are. So let's take a look at what we got here. This is what comes in two boxes. You get the tub in one box, which is relatively lightweight, and then you get this big chilling machine, which is actually pretty heavy duty, that comes in a separate box. It's a little bit unwieldy to do by yourself, but you can unpack it and move it around. It has wheels. It's got a handle, kind of like on a suitcase, where you can wheel it. Don't think you're going to wheel it through the airport, but you know, it does have that handle. It comes with this manual pump. If you want to pump up this tub, it's an inflatable tub, which actually I think has a lot of benefits because it also deflates, and they give you this backpack. If you want to take this with you, you actually can put the entire tub with you on a backpack, take it with you on the road, and put all of your elements in here. Problem is, you can't take the chiller with you. It's a little bit heavier and more expensive device to ship. But it also comes with these hoses that help you hook it up to the chiller. It comes with a filter system. And one of the reasons why we like this TheraFrost system is it's actually an ozone generating machine, so it actually constantly filters the water. You don't have to change this water for 3 months or more at a time, depending on how often you use it. And also this chiller can get down to about 39 degrees, 37 maybe. I don't personally do cold plunges at that temperature because there's not enough evidence to support that that's actually beneficial. In fact, there's a lot of studies that have just recently come out saying you don't have to be colder than 50 degrees to get the benefits of cold therapy, which is good news for me. I do two, usually one in the morning that's actually colder, we're in the low 40s, and then I do one in the evening or the early afternoon that's in low 50s, maybe 49. The reason being, when I'm doing it in the evening, I like to sit in it longer because it helps me recover. My muscles are aching more, my post-workout, you know, recovery is faster when I do a sauna and I do a cold plunge. So I tend to work out later in the day, and then I'll do the sauna and then a cold plunge, and I'll go back and forth a few times. But this plunge has been a game changer for me because it makes it so much easier to maintain temperature. You don't have to run this 24 hours a day. I run it basically an hour or 2 hours before, depending on how cold I want to get it. So if I get up in the morning, I turn it on, it'll take about 2 hours to get to the cold temperature. And in the evening, it would take less than an hour for me to get to temperature to do an evening plunge. It also comes with an electric pump, so you can actually inflate or deflate this unit very quickly. It took me about 5 minutes to inflate this thing, and this was very handy. But if you don't want to plug it in, or you're not anywhere in a place you can plug it in, you can always use the manual pump. The other device that I bought, which I think is a game changer, this is a sub pump that is used for pool covers. So if you get water on your pool cover, you put this on top and it'll pump the water off. And I used it to actually drain this. I've been using this for a month in another location that's more covered, so it's not sitting in the sun. And I used this pump. It took me about 20 minutes to actually get all of the 100 gallons of water out of this. I put it into buckets. I reuse those buckets for my gardening and my other usages around the landscaping area. And I think this is a game changer, but it doesn't come with this plunge. You have to purchase this separately. I got mine on one of those other platforms that I won't talk about. Okay, and then the other thing about the sub pump is you get a long tube, so you can actually take the pump and the tube and actually push it out farther. So if it's sitting up high or sitting in an area where you can't drain this tub, you're gonna wanna be able to pull the water out. The other reason why we like TheraFrost and their TheraFrost chiller is that this chiller does not go hot. So there are others on the market that actually can turn the water hot. And I don't recommend that because you don't want hot water and these plastic materials leaching into the water, because those are phthalates, they're not good for you. So I don't recommend you ever making this into both a hot and a cold plunge. We just use it for the cold. Again, theirs is ozonated water. They also have a device that you can get that they give to you, which will make the water structured as well, which is actually kind of an added bonus if you like structured water. So you're sitting in kind of, you know, healthy, healing waters as well at the same time as being cold. This is the exhaust fan here, which will blow hot air. And when you set this up, you want to have this blowing away from you. And here is your filter. Here is your outlet valve and your intake valve. The inside of the tub, it has a max line so that when you get in it, you don't have water flowing over the sides. That's most you'd want to fill it to is that max line. It's about 100 gallons of water. Here's the inlet valve, green. The outlet valve is red. They both get hooked directly into the chiller. And then here is your drain hole if you want to manually drain it. All right, there you have it. This is Cold Plunge from TheraFrost. We like this device because of the ozone chiller. It's the same device that are used by a lot of professional teams and a lot of professional sports teams, and we're actually really excited to have one in our own home. And hopefully you can make the plunge yourself. It's a very expensive item, but I think if you can afford it, it's a great additive to your biohacking routine. I also think it's great to do it with hot and cold, and that's a really unique way to kind of experience cold plunge is by going from the sauna to the cold, from the sauna to the cold. You always want to end on cold. I think this is a great device, and I think you're going to like it too, and I hope you enjoy it in great health.